Good afternoon, viewers of Kritika's Vision. Welcome to another part of my lecture series. Here we will be discussing the Union Parliament Part 2 important questions. So in Part 2 that I posted yesterday, those who have not seen, you can see my previous video. In that we have discussed about Rajya Sabha, its functions, power, term, composition, then about Rajya Sabha, then the powers of the Union Parliament, about different types of motions. So all these we have discussed yesterday. So related to this, we have this question answer series that will be discussed today. So the first question is, now one thing that I'll make sure is that these are the questions which are like not exactly given at the back of the chapter, or these are some of the questions which are more found in the question papers. So it's very important to understand these concepts. So number one is analyze the statement that the Rajya Sabha is a permanent body. Now we all know that the parliament comprises of two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now we have discussed earlier that Lok Sabha is not a permanent body because it gets dissolved. However, Rajya Sabha is known as the permanent body. Yes, this statement is correct. So first you will write this, and then you will give the reason behind it, because it is never dissolved. Unlike the Lok Sabha, which can be dissolved after its term is over, or if no confidence motion is passed, the Rajya Sabha continues to exist, yes, continuously. However, 1/3 of its members retire every second year. So this means that never ever Rajya Sabha comprises of completely all new members, unlike Lok Sabha. So new members are elected in the place of the old ones who retired, and this system ensures that there is a continuity in the functions of the parliament. Because if all set of new members are there, new MPs are there, in Lok Sabha also new MPs are there, then maybe the parliament work will not be carried out smoothly, because that experience of previous tenure, previous few years will be lacking. Yes, so that's the reason it's a permanent body, never get dissolved, and it comes to aid whenever the Lok Sabha is dissolved. So it is one of the houses which carries on the functions of Union Parliament. Okay. Now discussing the second question, discuss the residual power of Parliament. So before understanding this, we need to know what are residual powers. So the word residual means leftover or remaining, right? So subjects that remain after dividing all the powers of parliament and like legislature. So we know that there are three lists made basically, yes, three union lists, state list and concurrent list, within which the different subject matters on which legislation has to be done are divided. However, the matters which are leftovers, which are not included in these three lists, where they'll go? Yes, correct. They will become the residuary powers, and they will be given a separate criteria. So who will make laws on these? So whenever such question is, it is a Union Parliament who makes laws on these residual matters. Okay, so there are many subjects which were originally not given in the constitution, not listed in the constitution, hence it wasn't divided in all these three lists. Among all these three lists, so for example, like cyber laws, space research, digital currencies, all these laws relating or subjects which are relating to these topics were not mentioned in the constitution when the subjects were being divided into three lists. So all these all these subjects are included under residual powers, residuary subjects, and it is the union list who makes laws on it. Okay. Now next question is, mention the circumstances under which the Union Parliament can make laws on the matter in the state list. So basically we all know that the Union Parliament make laws on the union list, and the state list is for state government. However, concurrent list is a list where the subjects are shared by both union and state government to make laws. But here we are talking about the circumstances under which the Union Parliament can make laws on the state list matters. Yes, this happens. So Normally it is the union list making laws for union list subjects and concurrent list subject, but in some special circumstances this happens. And what are those circumstances? First circumstances when it is in the favor of national interest. Yes, so if the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by a 2/3 majority of members present and voting, Parliament can make laws on a state list subject for national interest. Okay, this is a first condition. Second condition is during national emergency, when the national emergency is in force, Parliament gets power to legislate on state list matters. So this is during national emergency. The third point is when two or more states request, okay, when two or more states and the state legislature request the Parliament to make law on a certain subject, then the Parliament can make law on the subjects mentioned in the state list. Fourth is to implement international agreements. Parliament can make laws on state list subjects to implement treaties, agreements, or international decisions. And the fifth kind of condition when the Union Parliament can make laws on the state list is during President's rule in a state. So if a President rule is imposed in a state, Parliament can make laws for that state on state list subjects. Okay, so we can summarize it in one form, in one line, that Parliament can legislate on state list subjects in national interest during emergency on request of state for international obligations and during President's rule. So under 5 circumstances. Now coming to question number 4, difference between supplementary grant and vote on account. So we all know that budget is passed every year, and budget is a culmination of receipts and expenditure of that particular year, right? And in budget, it is decided that which department of government will get how much money, which sector will get more investment, which sector will get lesser investment. All these things are money, the division of money is decided. Okay, so when an additional grant passed by the Parliament, when the money already approved is not sufficient for a financial year. Okay, so this is supplementary grant. Supplementary grant is an additional grant passed by Parliament when money already approved is not sufficient for the financial year. This is same. Yesterday I gave you example that when during exam you need additional sheets, you call it supplement. So when you need more grant apart from what has already been approved for you for that particular year, it is known as supplementary grant. However, a temporary grant passed by Parliament to meet government expenses, okay, for a short period until the full budget is passed, is vote on account. Now the purpose of this supplementary grant is to provide extra funds for additional expenditure. However, the purpose of vote on account is to allow the government to continue functioning before the budget is approved. So we can say that supplementary grant is the extra money that the particular department of government takes later on. However, vote on account is a temporary money in advance which is taken before the budget is passed. Next question is difference between censure motion and no confidence motion. So the difference between censure and no confidence motion is that a censure motion is moved in the Lok Sabha to criticize the policies, actions or failures of the government or a particular minister. Okay, now it must clearly mention the reason for the criticism. It expresses disapproval but does not necessarily force the government to resign. So basically it's a movement to censure against a particular action, policy of a minister or a government, and it is like a criticism. Okay, now it expresses disapproval but does not necessarily force government to resign. However, a no confidence motion on the other hand is moved to show that the Lok Sabha has lost confidence in the Council of Ministers, and it does not need to mention any specific reason. If it is passed by the majority, the government must resign. Okay, so we can summarize and say censure motion criticizes the government while no confidence motion removes confidence from the government. So this is the difference. Also, it is like censure motion can be passed, Okay, so when it is passed, it is a political setback, does not have to resign. Government does not have to resign. While for no confidence motion, the government has to resign. The next question is, analyze the statement, adjournment motion pinpoints the failure of the government. Okay, so whenever the houses meet, they discuss the agenda that they had decided for that particular day. But what happens during adjournment motion is basically it's a special motion, okay, moved in the Lok Sabha to draw attention to a definite urgent matter of public importance. This line is very important, definite urgent matter of public importance, by interrupting the normal business of the house. So suppose the house is discussing a particular topic on a particular day and suddenly something happens. What something happens? Something serious happens, okay, which shows some serious matters like law and order failure, corruption, scams, scandals, accidents due to negligence of government, anything such that happens, then the adjournment motion draws the attention of the Lok Sabha towards discussion of this special kind of agenda and not the regular thing that it was doing. So if accepted, if the adjournment motion is accepted, the regular work of Lok Sabha is adjourned, that means suspended, so that the urgent issue can be discussed immediately. So the purpose is to hold the government accountable for serious matters such as law and order failures. Okay. Now, the issue is usually concerning something serious the government failed to prevent or handle properly. So basically, we can say that this motion, adjournment motion, publicly criticizes the government. Opposition uses it to question the minister and to expose their mistake. It interrupts normal business of the house. It's like a political embarrassment. And if admitted and widely discussed, it indicates dissatisfaction with government functioning. Okay, so it is a criticism which can lead to embarrassment of the government that is functioning. So I hope you have very nicely understood these 5 questions which are related to the part that we have discussed earlier. If you have any other questions related to part 1 and part 2 of Union Parliament, the videos are already posted. Go through them. Any other question you can write in the comment section and surely it will be answered. Till then, stay tuned to Kritika's Vision. Do subscribe, like and share my channel.